Good evening, all of you. I hope you're all well. It's nice to see you all here. We've got a good crowd as always. So, how are you doing with this lockdown? I hope it's not too hard for you. But here you've got at least a little bit of entertainment while you're cooped up at home. Yeah, cooped up, not able to leave. So we've got a lesson as we normally have it, with some idioms to start with. So the first one you probably can see on the screen here. It says, don't believe everything he says. Take it with a of. So it's wonderful to see all these people here. Yeah. So good evening, Kin, Susanta, Helena, Montespan, Beauty, Lolly, Helena, Naima, and you there, Lizzie, as well. Hi. Andy, good evening. Gianluca, good evening. Okay, a grain of salt. That looks pretty good. A grain of salt. I personally like Susanta's answer better, a pinch of salt. Okay, but a grain of salt is not right, so a pinch of salt. Yeah, so take everything he says with a pinch of salt. Good evening, Vinicius. Bilai, good evening, a pinch of salt. So what does this mean? Don't believe everything he says, take it with a pinch of salt. Maybe some of the things he's saying are true, but he's probably exaggerating quite a lot. Yeah, he's talking and he's probably exaggerating everything. Good evening, Anayat. And let's see the second one then. You can't teach an old... You can't teach an old... How does this go? Oh, good evening, Erhan as well. And Mustafa. Yeah, don't take it seriously. Don't take everything he says seriously. That's the idea, Mustafa. You can't teach an old... I'm not sure what the tree's to do with this, Montespan, but I'm sure you've got something in mind. Okay, so Benjamin or Germain. I think it probably sounds Germain. That looks pretty good. You can't teach an old. I'm sure there'll be some more answers coming in any second. You can't teach an old. We had a little time out there. An old dog. Keep going with it. So, good evening, Sheena. You've never heard this one, Susanta. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Okay, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. It means when people get older or they've been in a job a long time or in a place a long time, they're not very open to learning new things. Yeah? So you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I think probably for me to learn another language now might be a little bit difficult. Yeah? You can't teach an old dog new tricks. You need a young dog to teach new tricks. The younger you are with languages, the younger you start, the better it goes. Okay, let's try this next one. He has a chip on what? This means he has an inferiority complex. He has a chip on... What does he have a chip on? So, he has a chip on what? Vinicius, that looks pretty good. You can. I'm learning guitar at 30. Gosh, Ben, I wish I was 30. This may justify the gap between the elder generations and the younger one. Old dog, a new trick. Shoulder. Yes, on his shoulder. You need the his, Susanta. Well done, Bilal. Yeah, well done, Vinicius. You were in there first by miles. Okay, and Helena, that's good. Yeah. has a chip on his shoulder, or you have a chip on your shoulder. He has a chip on his shoulder. This means he thinks he's not as good as other people. He has an inferiority complex. Yeah, even if he's better than other people, he's convinced he's not as good as they are. Yeah, he has a chip on his shoulder. One shoulder is lower. Well done, Lizzie. So, he has a chip on his shoulder. Well done, Nora. And Andy, yes. Okay, so, to have a chip on your shoulder is not a very good thing. Yeah, you're as good as anyone else. And let's try this next one then. Okay, so what is this one? To his shoulder. Poor him. Absolutely, Montespan. Yeah? So, to put a what in the works? To put a something in the works. This is to do with sabotage, using a sabot, a wooden shoe, to put a wooden clog in the works. But this is to stop things working, to stop things going ahead. So, here we go. Ben, that's good. Yeah, to put a... So it's a tool. Yeah, and Ben's got it. So, to put a... What do you put in the works? So, yeah, everyone was living their lives nice and easily, and suddenly this virus appeared, and it put a... So, as Ben and Lolly said, a spanner in the works. A wrench in the works. I've never heard it used as a wrench. Yeah, but to put a spanner in the works. This is this tool that you use to turn a nut. Well done, Helena. A spanner. Yeah, so he wanted to go out tonight, but the pubs and restaurants aren't open, so that really put a spanner in his works. Yeah, he put a spanner in the works. He just couldn't do it. Imagine my computer stops working. Oh my God, touch wood. It doesn't happen. That would put a spanner in the works to this live stream. Yeah, so when something happens that stops you doing what you want to do, yeah, man decides what he wants to do, and fate decides if he's going to be allowed to do it or not. Okay, the next one's really quite an easy one. A spanner. It's a tool. It's made of metal, and it's got a piece like this, and you have a nut, and you turn it like that. You would use a spanner maybe on your car. Yeah, you've got a bolt, and you've got a nut that goes over this, and it twists, and you have a spanner to make it move. Yeah, so that's what a spanner is. It's a tool. Okay, and we're starting to get answers now. I like the cat basket. Don't let the cat out of the basket. So Vinicius and Susanta are right, and Mustafa as well, and Nora. Yeah, and Lolly. So this one I'm sure lots of you know. Get out of the house. That's the idea, but in English we say don't let the cat out of the bag. Okay, this is don't let people know the secret. Don't let the worms out of the can. I like that one as well. The idiom we use, don't let the cat out of the bag. We're having a surprise party for John on Friday night, but don't let the cat out of the bag. Don't let him know. That's the idea, Montespan. And okay, this one I really like. There's no such thing as a don't spill the beans. Exactly, Mustafa. That's correct. Yes, and you, Susanta. Don't let the cat out of the bag. Yeah, it's exactly don't spill the beans. That's the point. Don't Don't reveal any secret. Absolutely. Don't reveal a secret or any secrets. Normally, Lolly, any is for plurals or uncountables. Okay, there's no such thing. Yes, you are definitely sailing through these, Vinicius. Okay. Is it a proverb? I think it's a saying. Ha, well done, Andy. Well done, Andy. This means nothing is free. Yeah? You pay for everything in one way or another. Yeah? So, yeah, never divulge any secrets. Okay, Neelam. Notice any is normally for plurals or uncountables. Keep the trick up your sleeve. That'll do. Okay, so there's no such thing as... And, yeah, Andy got this. Yeah. So there's no such thing as... Let's see if any more of you actually know this one. Such as a crystal ball. It's true, but it's not the saying. Okay, so no, I'm gonna write the answer up. Yeah, I have capricious tastes in food. Okay, that's good. As a free lunch, Elena. That's it. That's really good. As a free lunch. There's no such thing as a free lunch. So this is if somebody invites you to lunch and say they're going to pay for it, they want something from you. They want you to do them a favour. Yeah? Lunch is never free. Yes, well done. Good evening, Razgar. Okay, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Even things that appear free, they're advertising to you. They're trying to get you to buy their product. I love this phrase. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Yeah? If your boss takes you out to lunch, yeah, you should be very worried. What does he want? Why is my boss taking me out to lunch? I'm probably going to have to work on over the weekend. As a free bottle of wine, that's the point. Good evening, Rizgar. Okay, so there's this one. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Yeah? Yeah, if it's free, look for the strings attached. Yeah, as a free ride. So, the next one. Okay, he's very inexperienced. He's wet. So where is he wet? Where is he wet? He's wet where? He's very inexperienced. If somebody is green and inexperienced, yeah, that's the point. Nothing is free. Yeah, that's it, Ides of March. Your dad's absolutely right. Nothing is free. He's a wet blanket. That's a good idea, but a wet blanket, something that stops other people's enjoyment. And Ben Germain. Okay, and Montespan. The wet blanket is some. So, the rain was a wet blanket to our picnic. He's so depressed. I'm not going to invite him to the party because he's a wet blanket. But that's not inexperienced. If somebody's wet behind the ears, they are inexperienced. It's like a newborn baby. A newborn baby is wet behind the ears. A newborn baby's wet all over. Yeah? So he's wet behind the ears. He still hasn't had time to dry behind the ears. Okay, and I think that's probably enough of these. So let's try a story. Wet behind the ears. That's it, Andy. Don't be so wet. Don't be such a wet blanket. Let us ring in the birthday. Yeah. So, let's try story time. This story is called The Boy Swimming. It's about a boy swimming in a river. And we have two questions that goes with it. What did the passerby do? And what moral would you give the story? So you're going to have to listen and understand, yeah? So what did the passerby do? Okay, a passerby is a person walking past. So, listen. The boy swimming. A boy was swimming in a river, but he got into difficulties and was in danger of being drowned. He called to a passerby for help, but instead of helping the boy, the man stood there and was angry with the boy for being so irresponsible. "Sir," shouted the boy, "please help me now and tell me off afterwards." So, yeah, there are two questions. What did the passerby do, and what moral would you give the story? So, a boy was swimming in a river, but he got into difficulties and was in danger of being drowned. He called to a passerby for help, but instead of helping the boy, the man stood there and was angry with the boy for being so irresponsible. "Sir," shouted the boy, "please help me now and tell me off afterwards." Good evening, Sharma. Okay, so Montespan says the passerby ignored, blamed the boy for not having been cautious. Yeah, he blamed the boy. He was angry with the boy. That's really good, Montespan. Yeah, the passerby ignored the boy. You're going to have something, and blamed him. So, Susanta, the passerby standing on the shore was lecturing him. Very irresponsible. The man was angry, Manu, not hungry. Hungry, I want to eat. Angry, ah! I am aware about my mistake. I do not need a preacher. Yes. Okay, so Rizgar, I am aware of my mistake. I do not need a preacher. And Ben, the passerby wanted to make him suffer for his own actions. Lessons are usually learnt the hard way, but there's no need to make it harder or to rub salt in the wound. I might use rub salt into the wound there. See today's video, but that's a really good one, Ben. Okay, don't take risks without a safety net. Ooh, I like that, Lizzie. That's a really good one. Typos, yes. He didn't help the boy because he thinks that the boy is irresponsible. Yeah, that's pretty good, Lolly. So, Naima, he stood and he didn't help the boy and was angry with the boy, angry at the boy. Angry needs a preposition. He was angry, comma, that's my bad. The boy had to pay for his responsibility, and Count Beauty. The boy started going down underwater, but a man who saw it just stood Beauty by without helping the boy. The boy must be responsible. Absolutely, Mohammed. Angry, that's it, Manu, with a Y. Sheena, the passers-by showed a cold shoulder to the swimmer. So I would say the passers-by, or the passer-by, singular, gave the swimmer the cold shoulder. He ignored him. He didn't do it properly. And I think that's Andre. The passer-by was being an ass, telling off the boy for an irresponsible behaviour. Notice, Andre, normally behaviour is uncountable. So telling off the boy for irresponsible behaviour, no an. And I know how difficult a, an and the are for Eastern Europeans. So, be careful before you do. That'll do fine, Mohammed. And Gianluca, the passerby was angry with the boy for being incautious. I like that word, incautious, Gianluca, instead of helping him. And again, the passerby considered the boy's previous behaviour as irresponsible, and he decided not to help the boy. Good, well done, Nguyen. Okay, Diego, not everyone is a helping hand. It's true, I like that moral. And Helena, the passerby was not going to help the drowning boy. He was angry with the boy. Moral, think well before doing something. Good English, Helena. And Sheena, moral, people usually watch instead of offering help. It's true, Sheena, it's called the bystander effect. And Neelam, the passerby didn't lend the boy a helping hand as he was mad at the boy for being reckless. That's really good English, Neelan. I love it. Mohammed, the boy had taken a good lesson from his mistakes. Yeah, I think without the taken, the boy had a good lesson from his mistakes. Mustafa, the moral could be never count on any stranger. I think that's good. I would prefer a stranger, as I've said before, any with plurals or uncountables. And Razgar, the boy, I'm not interested in your ethical standard. That's good, Razgar. The passerby effect, yes, the bystander effect. You taught me that one, Lizzie. So, Kenyel, the passerby criticised the boy, who seemed a little wet behind the ears. That's a great phrase, Kenyel. Don't lecture someone who needs help. That's lovely, Lolly. And Diego, the passerby was vexed, to say the least. He wanted to lecture him the hard way. That's a good way of putting it, Diego. The passerby was cruel, true, Manu. Nguyen, you should not stop helping others when they are in dangerous conditions, in dangerous situations, not conditions, because one day, you may face difficulties like this. And Nora, the moral of the story may highlight that the worst thing ever, that when a person screams for help, only the echo of his voice becomes the only answer he gets. God, that's a nightmare, isn't it, Nora? And Andre, help then judge later. Absolutely, Andre. And Helena, everyone can make mistakes. The passerby had to help the boy to learn from his mistake. Good, Helena. And Andy, the only one who acted irresponsibly was the passerby. I quite agree. Actions speak louder than words. Ooh, that sounds really good, Andy. The passerby should have helped first. That was really, really good, Andy. Wow, that's really good what you've all done. So let me just paste this here and I will read some more of your answers to these. Okay, so Sheena, moral, never expect from others and you will be fine. Yeah, if you don't expect anything, then you're not going to have a problem, are you? Okay, I quite like that, Sheena. And Needlam, nowadays people have become stone-hearted. Hardly showing, Neelam, interest in helping others. Susanta, moral, advice does not work when help is more needed. Absolutely. So Sheena, the passerby was a heartless person. I agree, Sheena. And Mustafa, don't judge a book by its cover. Yeah, I guess that works. Moral of the story, good Samaritans are rare. I like that, Kenyel. That's a really good one. Okay, let me read this then. The boy swimming. A boy was swimming in a river, but he got into difficulties and was in danger of being drowned. He called to a passerby for help, but instead of helping the boy, the man stood there and was angry with the boy for being so irresponsible. "Sir," shouted the boy, "please help me now and tell me off afterwards." Okay, so a boy was swimming in a river. That's easy. But he got into difficulties. He had problems and was in danger of being drowned. So to drown is to die in liquid. A nasty way to go. To drown, a regular verb. He called to a passer-by, a person passing by, for help. But instead of helping the boy, the man stood there and was angry with the boy for being so irresponsible, for not doing the thing, not being responsible. "Sir," shouted the boy, "please help me now and tell me off, be angry with me afterwards." So, let's see, Montespan. Compassion is a rare commodity today. I agree, Montespan. Needham, moral. Keep humanity alive. To tell off means to criticise. To tell off, to scold, to be angry. Absolutely. So, notice, to rebuke, to tell off, and to scold. And that's a lovely question because it really brings me to my next part, the next part of this. Okay, this is some minimal pairs and this is going to be really hard. So we have a pair of words here. Scald and scold. Yes. Yes, Montespan, that's it. Let's see, Mohammed. Passerby, the passerby, should teach some ethics, and he, she, they should have manners for humanity. A human without humanity is nothing, that's true. And Gianluca, no matter if the boy made a mistake, but the passerby is more of a villain character. Is more of a villain. You don't need the word character, Gianluca. The passerby is more of a villain. Or the character of the passerby is more of a villain. Give real lesson to be careful rest of his life. So, to give someone a real lesson and they will be careful the rest of his life. As Francis Xavier, this story is by Aesop. The story is a couple of thousand years old. So, I've got these two words, scald and scold. To scald, what do these two words mean? What's to scald and what's to scold? And we've just seen the verb to scold. So what do these two words mean? Scald and scold. Scald and scold. So, does anyone know the meanings of these? Well, scold you know. Okay. Scald and scold. Scald and scold. To scold, to reprimand, rebuke, berate. One of your sessions, thank you. Tell off, that's good, Rizgar and Andy. So, scald, to burn. Well done, Rizgar. So, to scold, to rebuke, or to tell off angrily. And Ben, to burn and be cold towards somebody. Oh, I like that, to be scalding. Yes, he made some scalding comments. So to scald, to injure with very hot liquid or steam. But Ben used another way of using this, to injure with very hot, angry words. Scold is find fault with angrily. That's good. Again, Andre, to burn, basically. Okay, in different ways. Scald, to be burnt with hot water. Good, Helena. So, scold, to rebuke. Scald, to injure. Now, this is where this gets harder. Okay, I'm going to read 2 sentences and then I'm going to choose one of them and you need to decide which one I'm saying. So, yeah, I'll get you rebuked by the boss. That'll work. Please, can you give me an example of rebuke? If you don't tidy your room, I'm going to send you to bed without any supper and you're grounded for a week. To scold, to rebuke. Okay. The passerby scolded the drowning boy. Well done, Kenyel. So, you see these 2 sentences. He scalded the child. He scolded the child. He scalded. He scolded. He scalded the child. He scolded the child. Now, I'm going to say one of these 2 sentences and you need to decide which I'm saying. He scalded the child. He scalded the child. Is that sentence 1 or sentence 2? He scalded the child. Sentence 1 or sentence 2? He scalded the child. So we've got 2 for number 2. 3 for number 2. Count Beauty goes for 1. Manu goes for number 2 as well. So, he scalded the child. Count Beauty's still with 1. And Helena's with 1 as well. And Mohammed's with 1. And Elizabeth's with 1. And Mustafa's with 1. Okay. This is really difficult, I know. This exercise is as hard as you get. It's number 1. Well done, Lolly. He scalded the child. He burned the child with hot water. I hope by accident. Scalded, scolded. So he scalded the child. And let's try another one of these. There are 4 of these to do. So good luck with this one. Don't scald me. Don't scold me. Yeah, there are 2 sentences here. Don't scald me. Don't scold me. Don't scald me is number 1. Don't scold me is number 2. You need to listen because the first sentence is or, as in for, more, caught. Whereas the second one is o, as in home, old, hold. So, I haven't done anything yet, Kenya. So wait. At the moment they're both correct. So, don't scald me, don't scold me. So, I'm going to start now. Don't scold me, don't scold me, don't scold me, don't scold me. Is that 1 or 2? Don't scold me. Don't scold me. No, it's only one of them, Kira. Don't scold me. Ethan says 2. And Mohammed says 2. Sheena says 2. So, don't scold me. Don't scold me. Don't scold me. Don't scold me. Mohammed goes 2. Helena goes 2. Count Beauty goes 1. Lolly goes 2. Andy goes 2. Rizgar goes 2. Nora goes 2. Gianluca goes 2. It is number 2. Well done, Lizzie. So, this time it was scold. Don't scold me. Don't scold me. Not number 1, don't scold me. Number 2, don't scold me. I'm going to put marks by these because later you'll be able to see that in the... Yep, it's number 2. This was number 2. And let's try another one. Okay, 2 more of these to go. This is really, really hard, my friends. Yeah, if you can do this, this is a real test in English. So, he's always scolding himself. Good evening, Lavinia. And number 2, he's always scolding himself. He's always scalding himself. He's always scolding himself. Number one, he's always scalding himself. Number two, he's always scolding himself. So, I'm going to say one of them. Are you ready? Are you ready? He's always scalding himself. He's always scalding himself. He's always scalding himself. Is that one or two? Is that number one or number two? He's always scalding himself. He's always scalding himself. So Ben goes 2 and Andre goes 1. He's always scalding himself. Kenyel goes 1, Naima goes 1, Gianluca goes 1, Count Beauty goes 2, Mannequin goes 1, Mustafa 2, Montespan 1, Mannequin 1, Andy goes 3, Kira goes 1. Okay, Lizzie goes 1. Notice if Lizzie can do this, if you watch Elizabeth's answers, she's really good at this. She's as good as I am. Okay, it's number 1. He's always scalding himself. He's always scalding himself. Yeah, scalding, not scolding. He's always scalding himself, number 1. Not he's always scolding himself. Scald, scold, scalding, scolding. Okay, I think I'm going to stop with these. These are really hard. So let's just try a couple of questions and then we're going to finish. So let's see. First question. What's the difference between blink and wink? What's the difference between blink and wink? What's the difference between blink and wink? So, it's totally arduous. It's really difficult. That scold one. So, what's the difference between blink and wink? Blink and wink. One with a B, one with a W. What's the difference? What's the difference between blink? So, my English classroom, blink both eyes. He's always scalding himself with the iron, yeah. And a wink one eye. Well done, my English classroom. And Ben, good. So, wink one eye and blink 2 eyes. Wink one eye, blink 2 eyes. Okay, that's really good. Yeah, I love that. A lamp can blink, but it can't wink. Yes, absolutely. A wink can be a flirtatious attempt to communicate with someone. You're absolutely right, Diego. Well done, Susanta. So, what is the difference between wink and blink? Let me write the question here so that you can actually see it. What's the difference between wink and blink? So, you wink one eye and you blink 2 eyes. Normally when you wink, this is an action on purpose. Where you blink, this is just an unconscious reaction. Okay, so let's try another one then. What does to take a rain check mean? He winked at the beautiful girl. So, what does to take a rain check mean? That would do, Sheena. That's a good. And Ides of Mark. Blink can be voluntary. Wince is involuntary. Absolutely. But wince... Yeah, I guess you wince when you blink when you wince. But let's try this. So, what does to take a rain check mean? What does to take a rain check mean? Not to go on a date. So you need more information, Mustafa, but that's really good. Yeah? Okay, I like that. I like Ben's. To flinch. Yeah, to flinch is involuntary. To postpone something, I like that, Lolly. So, yeah. To reduce the speed. To refused an offer. So, to take a rain check. Let me put this here. What does to take a rain check mean? An invitation. This is when you refuse an invitation, but say that you can do it, you could do it another day. So, would you like to come to dinner tomorrow night? I'm sorry, I'm going to have to take a rain check on that because I've got to work tomorrow night. How about we do it next week? Yeah, so a rain check, this means I'm sorry, I can't do it at the time you proposed, but maybe we could do it at another date. This phrase is an Americanism. It's to do with baseball. And you go to the baseball ground to watch the match, well, not at the moment, and it starts pouring with rain and the match is cancelled. So as you leave, they give you a rain check, which is a ticket or a voucher that means you can go to the match when it is replayed. Yeah, so they're going to replay the baseball match because it's been cancelled this time, and they're giving you a voucher or something that's valid to go to the next time it's scheduled. Okay, we've had 40 minutes, so that's enough. Okay, so let me give you an example, Mohammed. Yes. Would you like me to lend you some money? I'm fine at the moment, but can I take a rain check on that? And maybe I can borrow some money another day when I really need it. Okay? That's the idea of a rain check. It's to say no, but maybe we could do it later. Maybe we could do it another day. So, good evening, Matt H. So, enough for today. I will see you all same time, same channel next week. Take care of yourselves. Don't get ill. Look after yourselves. You've been a wonderful crowd. Yeah, you've been a wonderful group. Keep studying English. Keep watching the videos. And I will see you all next week. Take care. Bye-bye.